So you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, and you better think a second time, because sometimes this place, it can drive you batty as heck, you know? When I was in the military, there was this term, bohica. Bend over, here it comes again. This place is the ultimate in bohica, man. Let me tell you. You have got to be so careful when you live here. And if you're moving here, PCSing here, anything else, you got to be real prepared. I've thought about making a video like this for a long time. And what just really got me to pull out the camera, other than I got a little bit of time, I'm sitting here driving to go show some houses right now over on the east side, was a little incident. So had some car trouble, and I definitely was not about to take it to the last place I took my car to, because it was a bend over here you come again moment. I'm getting that in a second. I went to next door and I was looking for a mobile mechanic. One, I didn't want to call out some kind of tow truck or something like that to have them tow me someplace. And first of all, I had to find someplace. And then it's like, well, I'm going to use a mobile mechanic. I tried a mobile mechanic one time, and let's just say I had to do about $600 of extra work because I didn't want to call out a tow truck and take it to a mechanic. He didn't know what he was doing, and he created a lot more damage. Anyway, so I went to next door, found somebody. Basically, it was like everybody was glowing about this guy. It actually took 2 days for him to actually come out. Fortunately, it was over a weekend. Chef's kiss. Great guy, did everything right. Matter of fact, he is definitely my mechanic from now on. Why'd I have to find a mechanic? Well, last place I used, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to have some issues. Go in there, and this is the bend over, here we come again, bohica moment. Presents me with a bill of like $3,500. Now, I didn't even go in there for this. It's like, oh, you need all this stuff. And I'm like, the car's barely worth that. This vehicle here right now is almost 19 years old. I got it, new car sales or military car sales, PCS and out of Kadena, 19 years ago. It's like, it's not even worth that. I may as well just go buy a new car. And of course, this is why I hate salespeople. Why would you pay all that money for a new car when all you got to do is pay $3,500 to get the car fixed? Salespeople. Bohica. Anyway, it convinced me. And the work that was being done is my control arms, the bushings split and everything. Okay, and there's also a little leak on the turbochargers. And just like, what really frightens me, sir? If that turbocharger blows out, it's gonna blow the oil out and it's gonna go into the cabin and it's like dangerous for you and everything. Yeah, that kind of crap. So anyway, getting the control arms done, and that, well, not the turbocharger, but the control arms, you're gonna, of course, need to have front wheel alignment, or at least a 4-wheel alignment. So I take it to a place to get an alignment, and they come back and they're like, well, your bushings are cracked and, you got a turbocharger leak. I'm like, no, I had all that stuff done. The manager's like going over the stuff, and the mechanic's over there, he's like, they basically faked work. So here's the thing, my neighbor, across the street neighbor, he's actually a cop. Believe it or not, he's a DMV cop. I'm telling him about it because I'm actually went over to talk to him about something else. And he goes, that's my job. We investigate that. I'm like, what? I didn't realize that they investigate. It's like, oh, no, it happens all the time around here. So just tell me, what the shop is and I'll open an investigation on them, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, it happens here all the time. As a matter of fact, even the mobile mechanics, like, yeah, it happens here all the time. It's just normal. This is the bohica of moving to Las Vegas. So I'm still going to try to give them a chance. I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to find the receipt, because you have a year's warranty. And I'm going to take it down, and I'm not going to warn them that, I know how it works now, that I can actually go to my neighbor and he'll open an investigation. But I found something else. So long and short, I had some rear brake problem. They said, well, we have to change out the calipers. You can't be done just the one that's bad. It's got to be a pair. I noticed something the other day. One of my calipers is rusted. The calipers were done like 8 months ago. How is it rusted after 8 months? So I started looking closer. Guess what? It's not a new caliper. The one on the that was actually bad is new. So they charged me for, and I don't think because, I had to have new rotors, new calipers, the whole nine, both sides, because they said it had to be a pair. Bohica, yeah. I can give you some more bohica moments of living in Las Vegas. This one's actually really funny. So near my first year here, I call out because I knew about this, and this is one you need to be warned about. When you get a home warranty, you know, your HVAC, your AC, your heater, and everything, the home warranty company is not going to tell you this. You need to have it serviced every year. They don't want to tell you because they don't want to cover it when something goes wrong. But I knew this, so I had it serviced. The guy comes out and he goes, well, it's actually, it should have known something. There was two of them, two. One was there to service it, and the other one was a salesperson. Told me I needed a brand new HVAC system. And I'm like, you guys are here to service. Was like, well, you know, you need a new system. It's just shot. You need a new HVAC. It's like, it's not even 10 years old. Remember, this is back when I PCS'd here. It's like, well, you know, you're here for the annual service because I want to make sure I maintain my warranty properly. He's like, well, you know, we do this so long, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're not even going to cover it if anything goes wrong. So you should get a new system. That, you know, the salesperson trying to bohica me. Can I tell you a secret? I PCS'd here 15 years ago. They were pretending I was going to quit any moment. You know, I still got the same HVAC units, mainly because I service them every year. Then I ran across an honest HVAC guy, and he goes, you realize these will last forever as long as you service them properly every year. You know, they last forever if you properly service them every year. You'll learn that because no one's going to tell you. It's a lot of that, bohica. As a matter of fact, a few years later, you know, they called me up, the same HVAC company, and it's like, you know, we'll do your annual inspection for $25 for your heating. I was like, this is going to be interesting. I got a bet I'm going to try to run here. Let's see what happens. So he goes up in the attic, and I'm going to see how long is he going to be? 5 or 10 minutes before he comes down with some big bill that he says I need to have done. 5 minutes later, oh, sir, oh, you have to have this, and this done. And it's gonna be $250. You know that stuff's never been done, right? He tried to bohica me. But I figured for $25 I was gonna try it. So you gotta run across the honest folks around here. So when you're moving here, you need to find honest folks. If you're in the military, talk to folks in your squadron. When you move here, talk to your neighbors. Fortunately, we have Nextdoor now. The merchants can advertise there, be very careful. But look for the honest reviews where people are just like naturally going there and going like, hey, I just got serviced here by these folks, or I just went to this mechanic. That's how I found this one here. As a matter of fact, the first mechanic that I used after using the dealership here, you know, it were great. It was guys who left the dealership because they were tired of the BS. Because let me tell you about some of the BS at the dealership here. I went to the dealership one time and I was having something serviced. You know, they got military discount, and I was like, you know, the cabin air filter. I was like, oh, they're running a cabin air filter sale. So they're normally like $129. They were doing an $85 special. I'm like, okay, I even say it. Oh, so you guys are running an $85 special on the cabin air filter. I'll go ahead and add that to the work, right? Lady takes the order and does everything. I go in, when I come back to pay my bill, it's $129. I'm like, wait a minute, it's on sale today for $85. She goes, yes, but you're using the military discount on the big bill, and you can only have one discount per day. She heard me say, and I even said it, I'm doing the cabin air filter because it's on sale today. She said nothing. She wrote it up, knowing I was doing it because it was on sale, but she bohica'd me. That is normal around this place, normal. So be very careful moving here and be very specific about the things you say. If you were to say something like that, let's say you're military and they give a military discount, and you were to add something, ask that question. It is so bohica around here. You know about a job guide, right? When you get work done on a car and you go like let's say something is supposed to take an hour and a half, they're only supposed to charge you for an hour and a half of work. So if it takes them 30 minutes, it takes them 30 minutes because maybe the mechanic is an expert on that. As a matter of fact, I had one of my enlisted troops was a Lexus mechanic. He was a reservist. He was a mechanic at the dealership down in Henderson. He said they did this one thing where he had become an expert on it. It was a recall, and it was an hour and a half, and he would just knock it out in 30 minutes. I literally had something one time where it was an hour and a half on the job guide. They charged me for an hour and a half, but the mechanic must have really known what he was doing. I was charged for like the time I was still at home, the work done, and going back home. No big deal, right? One time I went to the local dealership and I know for a fact it was a 2.5 hour job guide, right? 2.5 hours. At the time they charged $165 an hour. This is, back when I was still on active duty, so over a decade ago. They charged me for 4 hours. I asked the question, why'd you charge me for 4 hours? The job guide says it's 2.5 hours. Looked me straight in the eye. By the way, it's the same woman who did the whole thing about the cabin air filter. You know what she said? Took the mechanic 4 hours. By the way, it was the same one who had no issues charging me for 1.5 hours for the 30-minute job, because that's what the job guide said. It's whatever is going to give them the most money. This is the Vegas way. It really is. It's the Vegas way. You got to be so careful around here. I mean, that is just normal behavior. Normal. You have got to ask a question, you ask it twice. Matter of fact, they've literally gone out of business. The dealership, there used to be one, then it was two, and now it's one. It's another dealership now. They were used to have nothing but 1-star ratings, and then they have found a way to suppress all of the 1-star ratings, which is also normal. I got more of those. I went in one time where, they have this thing where they charge for this fee for, the hooking up like the machines and the oils and all this stuff. They charged for that. And then they charged me a separate fee for all those things. I'm like, why do you charge me $150 for this stuff, but then you charge me for the things? And they go, well, those things are part of the fixing the thing. But it's like, but you still charge me all these shop fees. It's like, well, we charge shop fees. But you charge me for all these things that the shop fees are supposed to charge. But it's in the guide, we're supposed to use those things. It's like Vegas logic, man. Just be so careful. And the same thing for housing and all the stuff. They're just nuisance of everything. This is a fee state. So when you're moving here, just be very careful of everything you do. Very careful. The salespeople here are all full of it. Just double check everything that you're doing, because I'm telling you, you will get screwed so hard. It's like when you're driving down, some of these places, and they call it Sin City, about the only thing you can say is ladies of the night are not, believe it or not legal here. Clark County, it is not legal, but you will get screwed hard. So be very careful when moving to this area. It's just folks don't care. It's just all about extracting money from your pocket. So I just wanted to give you that one about being careful when you move here. It's just being as honest as you can be. And it's just the way. It doesn't matter what the rules say, the laws say. You've got to be just super, super careful about everything that you do when you're here. I'm just putting it down so you are ready when it comes time to move here. And if you're thinking about moving here, hope you enjoyed this honest, probably more honest than you expected assessment of living in Las Vegas. Have any questions? Leave it down below, okay? Talk to y'all guys later.